dealer's choice.
Hello and indeed welcome to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for review. Would you Adam and Eve it, number 100. Yes, I know. I can't quite believe it either. And at this point I would like to just say thank you, all of you. Be you new to my channel, be you or have you been around for ages, whatever, just thank you for joining me. It really, really is appreciated. This time it is review part 3 of my series Dealer's Choice, and it's a bottle picked by my good friend in the Pacific Northwest there of the United States, Bud Jenkins, and he has picked Ledaig 18-year-old. Well, I tell you what, this is one that I think Bud knows me quite well now, but you know, things can go a bit funny too. This one bottled, I imagine 46.3 seems to be the Ledaig, you know, from Tobermory Distillery there on Mull. This one bottled 46.3 seems to be their sort of percentage for some reason. Non-chill filtered, no colour added, although it doesn't say so on the bottle. It does say on their website there's no colour added. If whiskey base is to be believed, and there's no reason why they shouldn't, because they're very good whiskey base. This is actually the batch number 4, just for anybody who's interested in getting one. This is the batch number 4, bottled in 2019. Got that off Whiskey Base. Quite happy to mention them in here. They're very good for those sort of facts. Matured in ex-bourbon casks and then finished in ex-sherry casks. 18 years old. Now, a few reviews ago, or depending on when you watch this, maybe it was loads of reviews ago, I reviewed a long row 18-year-old from Springbank, and at that point I was talking about subtlety of flavour and how some peated whiskies in particular tend to lose a bit of that phenolic hit as time goes on in the cask. It hasn't happened here. This has held that phenolic hit. It has kept its smokiness throughout those 18 years. Now, I think for me, and we'll get to the whys and the hows of it, there's just something in this whiskey that doesn't really settle for me. It's slightly sharp and spirity for an 18-year-old, surprisingly. You know, yeah, we'll get back. There's other things I want to hit on, but we will get back to them. You know, it feels like, to me, and it has settled, I've tried everything with it, it feels like a sherry finished whiskey settling over smoky peaty whiskey, which on paper is what it is. If you imagine there's an earthy smoke, and it is an earthy smoke, and it has both literally, I suppose, and figuratively been tarted up, because there's tart notes, and it's tried to bring that earthy peat, and it's added a sharpness and literally tarted up a bit. I'm just not sure if it works for me. As I do with all my reviews, with all my tasting notes, well, most anyway. When I've done my tasting notes, I then, particularly if I find a whiskey that just doesn't really maybe settle with me, and I can't understand why, because with this, I just thought immediately, because I like the Ledaig 10-year-old so much, I imagine this, having the extra age, having a sherry finish, I would just have loved it straight out. But so what I did in this case was looked at the other reviews, as I do, to see what they thought, and Ralphie's was one that stood out. I always go to Ralphie to see, and he thought it was very well balanced. I don't. I don't think the smoky, earthy peatiness and the sherry maturation in this and sherry finish in this have balanced out very well. To me, actually, if anything, they split a bit. And I get these sharp, meaty notes like Worcester sauce, barbecue sauce, things like white wine vinegar. There's a sulphury note once again, burnt out matches. Now other things do come. It doesn't all focus that way. There's a sharpness, as I've said a few times, and I think that sharpness is almost like cooking apples, where you don't want to bite into one of them. It's too tart, it's too sharp, and I'm getting that kind of fruity sharpness. Weirdly, even a bubble gum. I'm getting a sweet bubble gum. I just find it such a shame, because I so dearly wanted to just dive into this and be invited in by the nose that made me want to just dive into the palate. But that sharpness in this I find a little off-putting. Sweet and sour arrival. Slightly sharp. Sweet first. It's light, it's coating, but nice and light actually. Yeah. You know, one can change one's mind, and I mean the initial first pass in this now, as you can see, well, some of this was gifted out as samples, so I've had a few. It is coating, it is slightly oily, but it is light as well. It's clean. A little mineral feeling. There's vanilla there. There's a hint of a chili heat. All right. As I said, one can change one's mind, because the palate this time, even though I've tried it a few times, this is as good as I've had it. Strong coffee on that palate. And there's a cereal like oat cakes. Yep. Dry red wine. Yeah, actually, this is the first time. Did it take to here? Did it just take to here for this bottle to sell? Because no, I'm enjoying this. It's warm. Maybe the climate has been different. I said before that I do all my tasting notes in the same room, which is fairly well climate controlled. This time it's warmer, it's quite a bit warmer, maybe just that change in temperature. And mind you, I let it settle, I always do. Still a little confused, but certainly more balanced than I've had it yet. Yeah, definitely. Finish, it's quite long. It does hold on. Those oat cakes which I mentioned definitely hang around in there. That chili heat hangs around in there. Little dry, but there's still the smokiness is there. Yeah. Yeah, weirdly, I feel a bit guilty. I feel like because I feel like as if I was giving you a bit of a bum steer at the start there with it, and I do. I'm confused by this whiskey. Not only is it confused, but I'm confused because that is just getting better and better on the nose. Now it's becoming balanced on the nose. There's a nice sweetness, a nice confectionery sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. Damn, I say. But thank you, bud, for suggesting this, because yeah, I was ready to come out firing on this and going, look, no, for an 18-year-old from a distillery which I like, an expression which I generally like, this just doesn't work for me. But now that it's well, yeah, am I going to have to? This is one I'll have to come back and re-review, I think, later today. Yeah, the nose has got a bit more muted. It's stopped fighting with the addition of a little water. It's toned down the sharpness of the sherry, and I think it was it that was doing it. It's a little funky. It tastes like, and it smells like somebody baking cookies or cake or something in the background. Yeah, that's what it is. It smells like somebody baking, like there's something in the oven. Now, that's ruined the palate. It's made the palate too thin. It's thinned it out. The addition of water. And any goodness that was starting to form there has sort of gone again. And now it's starting to come back. Yeah. I don't know. Ledaig 18 confused the shit out of me. It was definitely one that I had not settled with from here to there. I just couldn't get my head around it, and I was disappointed is a strong word, but that was the way I felt. It just wasn't working for me until now. This is the best I've tried it. So yeah, that is so much what that smells like. It smells like somebody baking something in the background. So I'm going to hold out on that one and say, look, well, I don't really think I could say an awful lot more there. From there to there, no, it didn't work for me. It really didn't. Now, maybe it is starting to become something a bit better. And it is good. It is good now. That is a good whiskey. If that was set down to me in a blind tasting, I would be delighted with that. What I had before, nah, not so much. So, yeah, I'm just rambling now. Thank you, bud, for suggesting it. Indeed, because I wanted, yet again, it's one that I wished to try. And my hand needed to be forced on it because I wanted to know what it was like. So there you have it. That's Ledaig 18. I'll come back and review it again sometime. Let's move on. Review number 200. How does that sound? If I remember, and if I'm still about, review number 200, I re-review Ledaig 18. There's a promise. Oof. Anyway, if you like this, what would I suggest? Well, it's another one which peated, extra sherry aging, extra sherry maturation. Can't remember the whole. I genuinely meant to look up for the full history on this one. The Kilchoman Sanig, yet again, bottled at 46%, natural colour, no chill filtration. good whiskey for its price. I was a fan, or am a fan, of the Machair Bay, the Kilchoman Machair Bay, and I was pointing in the direction of the Ledaig because I do like peated whiskey, peated malt with a sherry influence. And then it was mentioned to me, well, you should try the Ledaig then because there's an extra sherry influence. And it confuses me. It's a bit like this. There's just something not right about it for me. Now, I'm not trying to put you off either of these. But what I am saying is, if Ledaig 18 is your thing, and you haven't tried Kilchoman Ledaig, I think you would like this. They're two totally different beasts. Totally different. But they're weird in their own way. And it's just, then as soon as I had this, and it was confusing me and messing with my head, even more so now, the Ledaig was already where I was thinking of directing you, because it just also confuses me. Where I'm not saying I dislike it, but I don't know if I like it as much as some others. There. I think that covered it. Yeah, once again, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for hanging around. Thank you for being here. If you're there from day one, thank you. If you're there, this is the first time watching a whiskey review by me, the Whiskey Novice, I thank you. And I'll be back next time with something else again. And until then, thank you for joining me. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. If you wish to join that group, the details are in the description below. Yeah, once the water settled in it, licorice, slightly darker notes, the sherry starts to come through again, but the smokiness is always there. Still confusing me. There'll be other batches, and I'll try them. Till the next time, here's to your good health, my friends. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.